Are you investing upside down? What makes a building strong? What makes a building strong is the foundation. And once you have a strong foundation, you could almost rebuild any structure. So yes, in a situation, it may become damaged if something was to hit, if a disaster was to hit. But once you have a strong foundation as the base of your structure, you are able to rebuild much better than if it is you don't have a strong foundation. It's the same thing in terms of investing and a financial plan. So what is your foundation? So I had a client that reached out to me that told me that they're not interested in any insurance whatsoever. The main priority is strictly for investing and investing solely. But sometimes we don't always take into consideration that we are our most important asset. You see, your ability to earn an income is an asset. What can affect your ability to earn an income? So I'm going to explain a concept to you guys called income protection, and we're going to use a case study with Brian. Let's say Brian earns $10,000 a month. Brian is single with no wife, no children. And Brian's interest is savings. He wants to start investing, and then maybe you do some insurance later. Basically, Brian is building his financial house like this. He's putting investment as a priority. He's putting savings, and then maybe later on he could do some income protection or some insurance later on, right? Now, here's the scenario in terms of doing things like this or in this particular formatting. Brian is taking the money that he's getting from his salary to save and invest. Now, Brian earns his salary from going to work. What can prevent Brian from going to work? It could be many things, but the main thing is sickness or if he gets into a major accident. If you become sick and you have money saved, where do you think is the first place that you're going to touch your money to cover your sickness? Not from your savings and your investment. You see, you could have 1,000 problems in your life. Until you have a health problem, that becomes your only problem. And when you have a health problem, most people will do whatever it takes to make sure that problem is resolved, even if that means expending all their savings. What is my recommendation? One of the things I tell clients is that your foundation should be income protection or income replacement. Then you look at savings, and then you look at investing. But your foundation have to be strong. Why do your foundation have to be strong? Because once you have a strong foundation, you can rebuild any structure. Let me explain what I mean by that. Let's say Brian did it where it is he was investing. He had his savings, and let's say he did income protection, he had zero. So let's say his investment is 100,000, savings is 150,000, but then he gets hit with medical expenses, and that could be any form of medical expenses, of $250,000. Do you think Brian is going to say, well, no, I don't want to spend my $250,000 to help cover my medical expenses? The reality is he may have to use this $250,000 for that. But let's say he did it where it is he put his foundation as income protection, and he transferred that risk onto the insurance company, and let's say that coverage was $500,000. He still has the same savings of $150,000, still has the same investment as $100,000, but with the medical expenses, he doesn't have to touch this money that he have saved. This $250,000 could come from his income protection plan, and he could still have $500,000 while still covering his medical expenses. Now, if you need help in designing your income protection and income replacement plan, schedule a meeting, let's have a conversation. But until then, continue to follow for more tips and ideas on insurance.